yeah. Oh yeah. We live? Are we live? Sounds like it. Yeah, buddy. Back to beater season. What's up? Welcome. Yeah. What's up? What's up? Good morning out there. I'm a little late. That's all right. Characteristically late. It's because I'm busy, man. All right, enough of that. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome to this fine Wednesday edition of BS with Hannas. That's me. It's my little morning YouTube talk show. Come out here, talk about things I'm thinking, things I'm reading, so on and so forth. It's a fine Wednesday indeed. It's summertime basically. For now, we'll see. We'll see how the springtime goes. But I've gotten quite accustomed to coming out here with the hoodie on and shit. Nah, we're back to no sleeve season. Just the way I like it. Just the way I like it. And it's been a decent morning, man. It's been a decent morning. Was up and at it early. Went out and ripped a fucking gym session. I'm not loving EMP. I appreciate you, but I'm not loving not squatting. My thumos is a little lower. I've been doing just a bunch of pull ups and push ups and like some of those stretches and shit you showed me. Bunch of planks and trying to make it like a circuit thing, like I like doing before I do the cardio anyway. So it's all right. It's just a new thing, man. Just a new thing to fucking do. But it's all right. The back is slowly healing. But it's all good. I'm not even fucking worried about it, to be honest. Today's leg day, and I guess I got to do some other leg stuff. I should take the advice I don't want to take and just relax on the squats. I know for sure I should do that. So I guess it's getting over feeling like a bitch for stretching, which is a dumb thing I have in my own head before anyone comes criticizes. I know, I get it. I get it. And I guess I'll just hang out on the leg extension today, maybe some hamstring curls, abductors and adductors, the girl machine, which makes me feel kind of gay, but whatever. Let's just get it in. Let's just get it done, man. But beyond that shit, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's a fine Wednesday. I'm late because I was finishing my book this morning. I just finished How to Slay a Wizard by Mr. Owen Benjamin. And it was very good, I think. I would recommend anyone who finds this stream to go read that. Go buy it on Amazon. Shout out to the big bear, big man Owen, the huge pianist. How to Slay a Wizard. It's fascinating. I've been a fan of that dude for a long time, so I kind of know the angle he's coming in with a lot of stuff, which is what happens when you've got a podcast or you're a personality in public. People kind of know what you're about, but it is a different exercise to read it consolidated into a cohesive book. Chapter one, chapter two, the logical sequence of events, and so on and so forth. And I wonder when I read stuff like that, where it's like, how does this contrast with my ways of thinking? As I put my shit out there, my opinions, my thoughts, philosophies, and whatever. As I put this shit out there a little bit, that's putting a deep, intimate part of myself out there a little bit. So it's like, even if this person's hugely influential, you shouldn't take anything with just, okay, they said it, so it's true. You gotta roll with it a little bit. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm always, it's very fascinating to me. And, instead of looking at the news, let's see, I got my, here's the flyover email. What's the news today? What's the news today? It's tax day. It's almost Mother's Day. Uh, you know, Congress is getting rid of people, more people from Florida. Who's that one dude with the Chinese girlfriend? Eric Swalwell. He's like banging hookers in apartments or something. Yeah, so he's getting ousted. In other words, here's a new round of peace talks. Like this shit's all dumb. It's all stupid, So I'm not even looking at the screens. I'm pondering wizards and wizardry. I'm pondering, my own endeavors. I'm pondering my fucking back, my music. Things I like to do. Things I just bought a delay pedal. I've never been one to have a bunch of pedals in my guitar setup. But as I'm doing these backing tracks, man, I ripped on that Welcome to the Machine backing track by Pink Floyd, and I took my fucking guitar to the stratosphere, bro. I'd like to say outer space, but I don't necessarily believe in space, but I'm fucking out there. So I'm like, you know what? Like, just doubling down on the things I think are good. Took my walk last night, took a walk down in the great borough of Westchester. Just kidding. The thoroughly average and mid borough of Westchester. I'm very unimpressed by the town, but neither here nor there. And I'm walking around town, man, and I'm thinking, like, damn, I was at this university 15 years ago, wide eyed and bushy tailed, as the saying goes. I'm feeling like an old man now. And what a fucking trip it's been, dude. And even taking like a walk in that space, when I go to clear my mind and let downloads come in, not think about anything in particular, no headphones on, no real distractions, just walking around, looking at stuff and, getting into a pensive walk and ponder, getting into a pensive space. It's very interesting. Very interesting. And it's easy to look back and be like, damn, I was doing this in 2011, or I was with that person in 2014, and this is when the band was doing this, and I was working. But then you're just living life in retrospect. And I've done that a lot. That's a guilty thing of mine. And, the only real conclusion is like, fuck it, man. I'm right where I need to be. All things considered, I'm right where I need to be. Don't matter how many times I've walked that same stretch in varying states of inebriated up and down High Street from Jake's Bar to this place, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Going to the bar and then going to the poetry class at this building. And it's like, it's just been a fucking life, man. And the only thing I can come to is it's like, I got to be right where I got to be, which is where I am. And what am I doing with it? What am I doing now? I know I can, when I lay down at night, I lay down peacefully. I'm like, dude, I left everything on the fucking field today for the most part. As long as I stay away from sweets and bullshit food. That's been the thing that's really attacking my conscience. But considering I used to live my life a whole different type of way, if I'm mad at myself for eating bullshit food, maybe I could get over it and just relax a little bit. But that's like a remarkable improvement, I believe, in parameters that I think are important for whatever that's worth to anybody, which is where it gets interesting as I finish the book, How to Slay a Wizard. Like I got a couple notes. I don't have the book on me, so and I don't want to like quote it anyway. You should go buy it and read it. It's less than $20. It's pretty good. The whole premise of it, how to slay a wizard. What does that mean? What is a wizard? My understanding from what I just finished up reading, a wizard is anybody who operates on lies. They need the lies. Everything around them is a lie, a fabrication. The way he says it is perception management. That's how the wizards operate. They can't be truthful because they're constantly, unceasingly in the business of managing perceptions between themselves and others, or others and other people. The situation, and in classic Owen fashion, it could be dealing with the fiat bank system. It could be dealing with NASA and dinosaurs, and we could get conspiratorial with it for sure. But it's something that's where I learned this shit. That it's not all in the out there world. So much of it, it's like you don't. The big thing is not to become a wizard yourself and how you're operating. You know, like in my day to day life, like what lies or perceptions, like, are you concerned with being truthful and being righteous and doing the correct things, or is it all about, I don't want EMP to feel a type of way, so I got to do this, and then if I do this, then he'll do this, and then and then it turns into this like spiraling, cascading type of effect. Just to use you as an example, because I see you in the chat, dog, and it's just like that, and that's true, you know. Okay, so a wizard operates on lies and perception management, cannot admit they were wrong. The real danger is becoming that yourself because it's kind of unintentional. There was something that stuck out to me. Owen uses the example of children born with what would you call it? Congenital pain, insensitivity, where there's apparently a case, for example, where kids are born and they can't feel pain. The pain mechanism of the body is meant to say, yo, chill, 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 chill. This is bad. This is bad. That's why pain exists. You know, so he uses the example of like a child who literally, allegedly, like chewed through their own fingers to the bone, to the point that the parents had to get the teeth removed, and like the kid don't know nothing. It's a fucking child using the idea of pain as a reference point in this case. So, how does that turn into someone's psychology? The avoidance of pain, the not dealing with it on its own terms. It'd be like me just fuck my back pain. I'm just going to keep squatting. Well, you're going to fucking feel the effect of that. It's like calluses. And as a guitar player, calluses are a big deal. As a weightlifter, calluses are a big deal. It's your body feels the pain and then builds this thing so that that pain goes away. It's an adaptive mechanism. Owen uses an example where the example of a hardened heart, a calloused heart, to where, those kinds of tendencies, if you're only operating in lies and all you give a shit about is the management of perception, the manufacturing of perception for one's own gain, inherently that's going to come with a callousing effect, you know? And we're all guilty of that to some extent. We all have that capability within us. We all have a heart of darkness somewhere deep within us, as Joseph Conrad said. So that's very pertinent. I think about that shit often. So it's really cool reading a book where it's articulated in a completely different voice than what I'm accustomed to reading, or what I'm accustomed to listening to, or what I'm accustomed to seeing on some motherfucking screen at the Planet Fitness when I'm doing my fucking cardio. So on and so forth. You guys get it? you know? So like how do you slay the wizard? And it's pretty simple, according to Owen. He says, just stop believing the lie. Stop believing the lie. And what is the lie? What is the primary lie? When you go down all the levels and you dig down, dig down, dig down. Owen says that, not to ruin the book, again, you should all go read it if you guys are into reading. I thought it was fucking great, top tier, insightful, kind of a mix of social commentary and conspiracy and looking into it. And it intersects with the personal development stuff in a real way, but it's more, I don't know, I guess human, more soul oriented, not quite emotive, not quite psychological, but like a cool intersection of all those things. Um, the primary lie is that you're not enough. And this is where I draw some kind of like contrast to it. This is where I almost like that. So that's it. Like I get it. The internalized inferiority complex, which lends itself to outsourcing one's own validation. This is personal development 101, that really clung to belief, this deeply held belief that I'm not enough. So I have to compensate. I have to get mine then. I had, the cliche examples. I need a car. I need money. I need this. I need that because I'm not enough. I get it. I just, having just finished the book and being where I'm at in my respective life, it's very interesting to me. Very interesting to me because on the surface, shit, I don't believe in that we're all enough. Sure, in terms of human life and human value and the fact that we're created intentionally, we're not just accidents. That's a big thing. Whether you believe in evolution or not, did we come from a pond scum that turned into a monkey that turned into the original human and then that turned into us and it's all accidental and it's just a freak occurrence, the levels of nihilism involved and shit, that matters a lot. But that doesn't mean that you're enough necessarily. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. The point of this stream is that I come out here and just talk about what I'm reading and what I'm thinking. And if you've been hanging out with me for a little while on these fine mornings, you kind of get where I'm coming from. I think, at first response off the rip, it's silly to think I'm enough. I'm fine just the way I am. I'm fine just the way I am. Well, it's just details kind of fucking matter is my first response. You're fine. Was I fine the way I was when I was drunk? Fucks no. Was I fine the way I was when I was fat as fuck? Fuck no. Was I fine the way I was when I was drinking Mountain Dews and eating Pop Tarts and playing Halo 3? Fuck no. There's way better ways I could have spent my time and lived my life, enjoyed my time here, under the presupposition that life is in fact a gift and it is a good thing to have. It is better to be alive than not to be alive. Let's look at that. you know, I'm enough. I'm enough. It's a real fine line because what Owen's saying is true. What he's saying is true. And that lends into kind of what I was thinking about when I'm taking my walk last night. It's like, oh, it's all good. That's the opposite. If the lie is that you're not enough, well, what's the truth then? The truth to me isn't even so much a direct response where it's, I am enough. I am enough. Let me just affirm that I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. It's more like it's all good. Yeah, these motherfuckers lied to us from top to bottom my whole life. Yeah, I made a bunch of stupid fucking decisions. Yeah, I strayed off the path and did some real dumb shit. Sometimes I was a real asshole to some people. Sometimes I played myself. Sometimes I suffered for no reason. Sometimes I caused others to suffer for no good reason. But right here in this motherfucking moment, it's all good. Fuck the perception of it. Fuck the way you're thinking about it in retrospect, because those become spells. Those become spells that we comply to, that we consent to, and then they infiltrate our own fucking operating system. This is how I understood the book. If I'm convinced, if I have this deeply, deeply, deeply held belief that I'm not enough and I'll never be enough, that will sculpt all the rest of my actions. And those actions will usually reaffirm that belief. And that's where that cycle in my experience, in my lived experience, and in the theory realm, that's kind of where that goes. But that doesn't necessarily say you are enough. I mean, it's not defined by money, but money fucking matters. I am enough, but I got $2 in my bank account and gas is $7. And you get beef, yogurt, and protein bars, it's $150 a week. Blah, 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 blah. Like this shit does kind of matter. It's just a matter of how much does it fucking matter? How much of that, a big thing that he talks about in the book, how much of that external authority do you like liquidate? Like you just get, all right, well, I thought Trump was going to come save us, but look at him. He's bowing to the Israelis. So I guess it's all for nothing. How much of that, what's the weight of that decision? This is shit I think about. And having been a long time listener of Owen, once you get rid of the shock comedy, once you get rid of the the bike stealing tropes, once you get over a lot of the Owenisms, it's just like anybody, what's the real deep, fucking very valuable, very helpful truth that is within, you know, the massive library of content. Just like anybody. To me, all these people are characters online. They just exist. It don't matter. Pick a name, any name. Tucker Carlson, you know, fucking Sean like everyone's got some fucking thing that runs concurrent with what they do on a daily basis. What's the real core? When you can piece those common threads over a long span of content, you can find a belief system in there pretty quick. Maybe not quickly, but the belief systems underlying all that stuff. And a big thing as far as belief system goes that I learned from Owen is that don't remove your own authority. That's, I think, what he means by saying you are enough. Like you can make your own fucking call. You got the capacity, you got the ability to. Don't blame your depression. Don't blame your alcoholism. Don't blame the anxiety. Don't blame the president. Don't blame the economy. Don't blame this or that or this or that. Because then you get under the fucking control of that. That becomes the spell that you're under. And when you get rid of all the layers, at some point, there's a wizard. And sometimes that wizard's ourself, man. It's fascinating. It's fascinating shit. But that doesn't mean that I'm just enough the way I am. Shit. I wasn't enough the way I was 3 years ago. So I got sober. And then once I got sober, I wasn't enough the way I was then either. So I really leaned into the fucking gym. And I was doing all right, but I was still eating shitty. So then I leaned into, doing 75 hard for the first time. And that's a paradigm shifting event. I wasn't enough. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't being enough. And these are laws. These are laws, man. It's like that thing, another great character on the internet, Myron Golden. Be, do, have. Be the person who does the thing to have the results. If you're not just enough, this is where manifestation and shit gets all kind of twisted too. Just reaffirm, use the psychologist talk, use the teacher talk, the hyper feminine, just self affirmation, just to make everything. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Insofar as you have the authority to discern truth and fucking get righteous, quote unquote. I don't know. I'm fucking spiraling about it, but it's interesting, man. And it's a huge intersection with a lot of the stuff I talk about and think about and read. And when I walk and ponder, this is exactly the kind of stuff, man. So, what's my conclusion? Shit. Keep ripping. That's my fucking conclusion, dude. Whatever it is you do. And for me, that's as I'm walking the path and as the light illuminates it as I walk it, which is something that I learned from another character on the internet, Mr. Wes Watson, who's back in jail because he was fucking spiraling, allegedly, domestic abuse fucking charges or whatever. I haven't listened to Wes in a while anyway. But like I was saying, even about Owen, once you can get over some of the shocking things, once you can get over the delivery or the absurdism or whatever. Once you can get over that, there's some fucking truth. Once you can get over big tatted up convict felon Wes yelling at you, and you can understand it's like, when you have that fucking call of the conscience, it behooves you to answer it. If your conscience is telling you something, you got to listen to it. Whatever that voice is, whatever that link is between you and the creator, that's where like the world of metaphysics and manifesting is anyway. Whatever that thing is in there, that link you have to the infinite intelligence. That's what Napoleon Hill calls it. They're all talking about the same fucking thing. All these people are talking about the same fucking phenomenon, dude, and it's fascinating. So I think that's when I read, Owen's book, You Are Enough. That's what I mean. That's what I think it really means. But you got to get rid of a lot of layers of calluses and rust, build up debris to really get to that, man. But on the surface, I don't know. On the surface, I'm like, that's the truth. That's the lie. That's the lie under all the lies. You're not enough being told. It's more about being internally holding that belief on a way that infiltrates and corrodes your whole operating system. So that's what I'm thinking about today, man. I wasn't sure how I was going to link all that together. That's one of those things where I got this big idea, like, oh shit, like a light bulb, but I don't necessarily know how to articulate it. So we come out here live on YouTube and we fucking just BS, man. We just bullshit and hang out. And I wonder how much that, like, this also struck me as fascinating. So I got this book, this big motherfucker. Look at this. Yeah, that's the ISSA Foundations and Applications for a Certified Personal Trainer book. And as I'm perusing it, messing around with it, I was in the glossary last night and I stumbled upon this. What's the ISSA definition of dun 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 dun? Where is it? Where is it? Peripheral. Here it is. So this is interesting too. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm spiraling, but I'm not truly spiraling because it ain't 10 a.m. yet. Here we go. So in light of all that, what I'm thinking about, and this is, I like to think my art and my quote unquote art, my podcast, my music, all my endeavors, everything I'm working to, everything I'm grinding on, everything I'm ripping at. It's I lump it into personal development. I learned that from another character on the internet, Mr. Andy Frisella. So thank you all these cats on the internet. Shit, I try not to talk too much shit about people I see online because now I'm among them. So I'd rather not sling arrows lest they be slung back at me for this or for that. Nah, I mean. But yeah, anyway, in all of that, I am enough. Okay. How does that relate? This is the question of the day. How does that relate to this? The definition by ISSA of personal development. They define it as activities that improve awareness and identity, develop talents and potential, build human capital, and facilitate employability, enhance the quality of life, and contribute to the realization of dreams and aspirations. Yeah. So let's combine those two things. Maybe it's not such a contrast after all. You are enough to do all that, and it behooves us all. We all have to answer that fucking natural thing in us telling us, begging us in a lot of cases. Get out your own motherfucking way. Use the senses we're given, your own ability, be your own authority. Don't get rid of your authority to someone else. It's not your boss. It's not your dad. It's not your friends. It's not your girl. It's not your dude. It ain't this fucking jerk off down the street, so on and so forth. It ain't the president. You know, you're enough to fucking figure that out. And then we got to keep ripping. That's where I come in. That's where I come in. That's why I got to get up. Got to get up and go do the thing. And it's very interesting to me, man. Very personal and very insightful to me. Self against self, and hopefully to y'all too. To get out of here and fucking share it as I'm growing. Share it as I'm doing it. But I'm way past 20 minutes. Shit, dude. Way past 20 minutes. So thank you guys for hanging out. Watch out for wizards. Don't become a wizard. Keep ripping, Thanks for hanging out. BS with Hannas on YouTube. Bullshitting, as the title implies. Hanging out, just talking about some shit. BS with Hannas here on YouTube, live on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, so on and so forth. You want some music? You want to see how this internal monologue translates to guitar riffs and singing, quote unquote singing, some heavy blues metal? NikkiBHannas.com, NikkiBHannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki B. Hannas on all streaming services. Got a second YouTube channel, backing track jam series on Nikki B. Hannas music. It's been a lot of fun. That's almost as fun at this point as studio stuff and actually composing and writing. So yeah, onwards, doing the things. I like lifting weights. I like fucking playing music. Follow me on Instagram at that new account, Heavy Blues Metal. All the links if you want to support are in the description. There's a Patreon. You can buy me a coffee, which means it'll be an energy drink that I fucking slam and wish I could just do squats. That's okay. Any other plugs? Shit, I think that's it. HeavyBluesMetal.com for some merch. Keep ripping. Keep it real. One love. I'm out. Peace. Oh shit. Wrong song. Later.